Howdy all. Today I want to talk about a little game called Meet Your Maker, which is an outpost building and outpost raiding action game developed by Behavior Interactive, who also made Hooked on You, which is a dating sim spin-off of their actual main game Dead by Daylight. It's not like Hooked on You is their main game, it's Dead by Daylight. They made Dead by Daylight. The game launched on April 4th and I played it a little and I want to talk about it now in the good, the bad, the made. So, the game starts off, you walk into her headquarters and you meet the Chimera, which is your mission giver and is basically this mutant that lives in a glass tank. The Chimera drops some lore about the world, how everything is dying and you need to find genetic material to cure the world. And that's about the summary of it, and it's not much else there, that's about it for lore. You get a short tutorial and then you reach the core of the game. Raid other bases, upgrade the Chimera, upgrade your gear, build and upgrade your own base. And it all sounds pretty simple, and it is. Also, the game has full co-op support and you can without problems build and raid with one friend. I'm now going to show you two levels, one good, one bad, just to show you what you have to expect when you play this game and how the game functions. So the first one, I tried it a few times. This is like my second run that you see now. I go in there, dispose of the guards. See, oh, that guy up there has a spike trap. Okay, I'm going to defuse it. Go in there, just go through, grab the gen matter, and bam. Trap behind me, hidden inside the wall. Okay, I go back in. This wall opens up, nothing comes there. I destroy the other trap, and then I noticed, oh, why was there nothing by the other wall? Oh, he hit something. Oh, now it's a vault, and I died. It's trapped. Bam. Okay, so I go back in another time. This time I just, speed run through. Grab the matter, destroy the traps, and I walk out again. Just being cautious, looking around. This one I know has a long activation time. Dodge the guard out of the way, backstab him, and we're out. And that's a good map. Some things hidden, some things that are obvious that you can skip. And now on to the other map. Okay, so this level I played a few times. So, because it's just filled with traps and guards. And this is what I call a W map, because you can just hold down the W key and use shift, run through, maybe shoot one trap, but since you keep moving, none of the guards can hit you, none of the traps can actually hit you, because none of them are positioned smart, they are just somewhere where you can know that they are. You just walk through and done. That's it. Now let's talk about the gameplay. For movement tools there isn't much. You can't duck, slide or run, but you can lean and utilize a grappling hook, which I'll talk about later again because I really love grappling hooks and I got some problems with this one. At the moment you can pick between 2 guns, 2 swords and a shield for your main gear. You can choose 2 of 4 tools and you can decide between 2 different suits, which I'm gonna run down now since the list is pretty short. The guns. The two might look kinda samey, but both got their own strength. One shoots a strong bolt that can deactivate traps, but you can only carry 2 bolts at a time. The other has 6 to 15 shots depending on the upgrade level, but you can't destroy traps with this one. But you can still destroy the traps in melee in combination with your grappling hook. And talking about melee, for melee combat you can choose between 2 swords. One is a fast sword that can deflect bullets and destroy traps. The other is a heavier sword that can launch at enemies and also lets you destroy traps. Also there's a shield that lets you block projectiles and even perfect parry them. And for tools you can pick 2 of the 4 that do the following. The blast grenade is pretty straightforward. You throw it, it blasts and kills enemies and traps alike. Flash barrier. This one creates a temporary barrier that stops threats from approaching you. Just gives a little advantage mid-combat. The Phoenix pod. Now this one, you can probably already guess what it does from the name. It creates a backup thingy of your character. So if you die in the level, you don't respawn at the start with all traps there again. You respawn at the Phoenix spot and not with all traps regenerated again. So it kind of acts like the Phoenix ult from Valorant. And then there's a spike drive. The spike drive, pretty straightforward, it gives you movement speed. And that's it. There's also suits, and the suits at the beginning don't seem too different from each other. One just looks cooler, and when upgraded, this one also feels a lot cooler, because it turns into this fast, sword swinging, slicing and dicing killing machine. The other lets you track bolts through walls and reclaim them from 50% further away, and lets you shoot faster, which just, you know, there's one gun that shoots a max of 2 bolts and you can't have more. The other has a max of 15 shots and already shoots pretty damn fast. So one of them just at the moment seems a lot more useful, but being fast is also not really useful because you don't want to run into traps. But it's not all bad, because when you fully upgraded a slot, you can switch the upgrades between the suits and make them more fitting for your personal playstyle. And at the moment, that's still just one seems better, but there's more suits coming, and then you can swap more between the suits and make them more fitting to your personal playstyle. Once you have raided enough materials, you can start building your own outpost. You spend some resources to claim some land and can start. Building is pretty simple. You have a block whose shape you can change between block, ramp and side ramp, or however you call that shape, and also can rotate them in all directions, and you can use the blocks to put down decorations and traps. There are different kind of traps to stop raiders from taking your gen mat. There are bomb ejectors, bolt shooters and death pistons, who just stomp everything that walks by. But traps can be one-shot again with the bolt shooter or melee. The traps can be upgraded with multiple mods that can change how they are used significantly. The most commonly one used is Second Wave, which has the trap appear after the raider has grabbed the gen mat and is on their way out. So on their way out, they might meet some new traps that weren't there before and catch them off guard. Others can also make the bombs ejectors bombs heavier, so they can drop down faster and don't bounce around much, or, in the contrary, make them bounce more to catch the raiders off guard again, cause the next bomb just bounces everywhere, while the other one just drops down and kills them. Finally, you can fill your outpost with ghouls, or guards. They're called guards, but look at this one. It's a ghoul. It's definitely a misshapen cloned ghoul. He has a cannon on his back. He shoots explosives at the player, and he is called Cannonback. That's a ghoul with a cannon on his back. And then we have the Enforcer, which has a bolter attached to his arm, which again is really cool because he has a bolter on his arm and looks like a ghoul again. And then you have the Hornet, which is a flying, thin, fly guy, and shoots homing plasma shots at the raider. And then we have the Warmonger, which is just a beefy boy with 2 swords attached to his arm that will run at the player and obliterate them. These ghouls can also be upgraded with mods again. For example, making them 8 others that are in combat, and Martyrdom, drop a bomb after death, and increasing their vision range, for example. You can also program in guard patrol ways that they have to take. By just, you can take, you take like vision of them, and then you walk around in your base, and then you can finish it, and then they walk around like you just walked around. Once you have finished creating your own base, you can activate it, and for the next 24 hours your base generates gen mat for you, and is now available for other players to raid. If they fall to one of your traps, you can go in there and pick up some loot, while also seeing which trap is effective and which one isn't. By getting kills and player feedback, you gain prestige, and you can then prestige your outpost to unlock you more building capacity, which makes you able to use the collective feedback from the player's death to build out your outpost with more, hopefully clever traps, and not just a ton of kill boxes. There's also ranks from bronze to silver to gold to master. There's no plat or diamond here, and you just gain rank by raiding and building. And at the end of each season you get loot, and I guess it's cooler loot the higher your rank is. And the rank just goes up while playing. I don't think you can lose it. And it resets each season, which your Chimera level luckily does not. The game absolutely does what it promises. You build bases and you raid bases. There's no season pass, there's no in-game shop, there's only the Chimera and the Chimera's hunger for Genmat. There's also your local weapon trader and the armor trader and the tool trader and the ghoul trader and the trap trader, and all their stuff can be bought with in-game currency only. And I just say that first because that's always great. Also, the game looks great. The misshapen ghouls look ghouly. The hub looks really cool, and looking out of the window into the sandstorm, seeing other bases and some drones bringing in Genmat from your outpost feels alive and just right for the setting. The bases and their building blocks also look great. The visual indicators on your screen when you step into a trap detection range feels well fitted and helps you actually. The sound design is also good. It's nothing special. There's no like amazing songs on the OST of the game, but it's really cool. Most of the time you can hear bolters coming and you realize, oh, there's a bolter coming, I better step aside. And when a grenade comes, you also realize from where it comes and can just step aside, get out of there, grapple away. And as I said earlier, the game has full co-op support, and playing with a friend is always more fun. When you're down, you can even give callouts to your friends. Since you keep POV, you are dead, and your teammate can even revive you, which sounds like it makes the game a lot easier, but in my opinion, rerunning a level 10 times is also not really difficult. It's just a higher time investment. Okay, for the bad. I first have to say, the AI of the ghoul guards is very bad. You know, it makes sense, they are ghouls, they're like misshapen clone thing guys. You know, their DNA is dying. It's okay. But as soon as you realize that they can't hit you if you just keep moving, they aren't even there anymore. You can really just ignore them and just walk by them. For example, the Warmonger does like a jump attack at you where he jumps through the air, wants to slice you. As soon as he stands there and charges it up, you know, just step to the side. Just move out of his way. He won't hit you. He can't. He actually can't hit you. There was also this one map where one guy used the modification that made the explosive cannon bag guys drop a grenade after death, like that one Call of Duty skill. And he used that, so the guards, after I collected the gen matter, just dropped into a corrosive cube, died, and then were just a lot of grenades that instantly exploded. But I couldn't really read you that, so maybe that got fixed, I don't know. But it was just really day one, that was like my worst experience. But still, it's like, the only way they actually can kill you is if the player puts down like a lot of guards and you just, you know, aren't waiting long enough for all of them to come to you. You know, just big kill box filled with enemies. And yeah, the smartest way of using them that I saw was making a patrol path that waits a long time and then sneaks up behind the player. So after the player already walked to the end of the map and on the way back, it's just new enemies. Or they just walk behind him because he has to wait for a trap to disappear or something like that. But you really have to think how to position them. And I mean, it's not really bad, but if you just put them into a level and want them to hit the player, it won't happen. You can actually just hold down W, it won't hit them. Also, I don't get why you can't dislike maps. Some players just create...
Oh no. Oh no. There can't be that many, right? Intro room. Okay, right.
And call it a day. They don't even have to playtest it. They can just upload it. You get in there and then you die. And die over because it's a giant kill box that's just out there to farm player deaths, or just have them wait for minutes because they have to, you know, step in, step back, wait for the trap to be over, step in, step back, okay, another trap, okay, cool, and over again, okay, next, okay, another trap, very obvious. It's just not fun. And, you know, I get why games like Mario Maker don't have a dislike function, since they are literal children, and you don't want to hurt their,
Sheriff, there's a letter for you.
okay. Huh. Well, Mario Maker has a dislike function. It's even called Boo. So why doesn't this game have it? Why? Or well, just let me tag the map as this level is a kill box. Maybe don't play it if you don't wanna solve it. Cause you know, there's something satisfying after I finished that level that I showed you at the beginning. Because it was a really easy way. I just had to be really quick, and then it just was nothing again, because it just wasn't hard. So just do something so you have to be more creative and not just be a lazy soul as well while building the map. This also goes into my next point. You as the builder don't have to be able to finish the level. You don't have to test it. You can't just build it, and there needs to be a walkable path from spawn to Genmat. That's it. You don't have to complete it. Even in Mario Maker, I have to use it again, in Mario Maker, the original creator of the level has to do it all in one run with one life and no checkpoints to upload the level. And that would be a lot better, you know. I think it would reduce the amount of weird kill box levels if you yourself would have to do it. You could even do cool things with that, you know, like having the original builder of the map setting a time that he had to solve the level, and everyone that is like faster than him gets more loot out of it. Which I know, I have played Happy Wheels. There will just be players that put in like a secret corridor, an invisible way that they can take to be faster than everyone else. But that's just again weird people in games being weird people in games. But I personally would think that would be really cool to have like a leaderboard of people and how fast they were. Boosts. I don't like them. You know, I don't like them in any game. In this game you can buy them for in-game currency, which is good. And you can't buy them for real money, which is better. And you know, they boost a stat like resource gained. Or they show you how many traps there are, or how long the harvester's path is. Which, you know, could just be a basic function in the game and not a temporary boost that you have to buy. And you know, I just don't use boosts. Never do, never did, never do. You know, there's like things that you can gain in games like Warframe that gain you more resources for amount of time also. And I don't like using them. It just feels like a weird way of cheating, and I just don't like it. Even if it's, you know, like supported by the game, you know, do it, please. It's, you get it. You don't even have to buy it for real money. Just do it. I don't like it. You know, just not for me. But it doesn't change my opinion of the game. It's just, that really is just not for me. What is for me is grappling hooks. You know, grappling hooks are just made for me. Every game that has a grappling hook is better. Quote me on that. Every game is better, you know. This game is also better because it has it. But it's really underused, undervalued, or I don't know, maybe correctly implemented. Because the grappling hook in this game is more like the hook shot from The Legend of Zelda, das Flutenduten. Meaning you shoot a spot, you get pulled towards that point, but you can cancel the pulling, and then you fly for a short amount of time in mid-air and can, you know, redirect it. And that's it. That's all you can do. You can also attach to the ceiling, but it just feels really static. You know, shooting you run towards something, you shoot the grappling hook, and then you just get pulled there. You can not put any motion in there. It just feels really weird, you know. When you have like modern good feeling grappling hooks like in Halo Infinite or Titanfall 2, or well, Titanfall 2 Apex Legends stuff, that you know you can actually redirect by running into another direction, then swing around something. It's also weird because you can't make a level around grapple hooking. For example, you could create a level that has like big holes and you have to perfectly jump and run, swing there, or you know, hookshot your way through and dodge traps mid-air or something like that. No, you can't, because to upload a level there needs to be a walkable path from start of the game to finish, as I already said. So I just don't really like how it's used. It's mostly just dodge away faster and hang on the ceiling to gain intel. And you know, just feels undervalued or underused. Before I get to my conclusion of the game, I want to bring in some deputies notes. You know, my friend has also played the game and he made some other points that I did not really talk about. So let's see them. So the amount of customization is really small. You don't need that long to unlock all tools and guns, and upgrading them doesn't really change them, besides making numbers go higher. Also, you have seen everything the game has to offer after an hour of raiding, and you know, while you might don't have it yourself, you have seen it and you will continue seeing it, and there isn't much change of how things are used. And for the third point, the game rewards kill boxes way more than creative level design. But kill boxes are also the only way to actually make levels more difficult. And this last point is also one that I resonate with. There's a $16 day one DLC that only adds some skins and just feels like stuff that should have been unlocked in the base game or unlockable in the base game. So I just had to rewrite the conclusion because I just realized that they released the next 3-month post-launch roadmap, which we are gonna look at now. So in April, we're gonna get the free Hellscape deco pack with, you know, new deco. Then we're gonna get some new mods and augments that you can unlock with playtime. So I guess you're gonna unlock them with in-game currency. And then in June, we're gonna get the first big update, the Sector 1 Dreadshore update, with new environment, a new deco pack, which is free, and a new custodian, so a new armor, new weapon, new trap, and new guard. So no new tool. And there's also a new cosmetic collection. Great, so we already have a $16 cosmetic collection, and another one is coming in June. So you can really just not unlock any, you know, cool deco by playing. It's always just free access from the beginning, and you can really just upgrade stuff. Yeah, so a new cosmetic collection, cool, we can spend more money. Great. On to the conclusion then. I like the game, and I played it daily since release, because I like base building, and I like seeing what other people can come up with. I like, you know, taking inspiration from other outposts into mine, or going into mine to see how people died, refining some traps, replanning some routes to make everything better, to catch people more off guard, surprising them. And you know, I just recommend it to everyone who likes Mario Maker. But I think there are some flaws with how levels get rewarded for difficulty and how releasing a map works, you know, because as said, you don't have to test it. You can just make a kill box and get huge amounts of materials. And yeah, the main flaw I think is the huge lack of content. Because from the start you can actually just clear every level. You just need to be careful, go in there, deactivate traps, get out. Upgrading your tools doesn't really change much, you know, it just should make you more efficient, but it doesn't, because you can't just run in there and do more, because you already one-shot everything. You can't really use being faster from that one suit, because you can't just run in and, you know, fall into a hole in the floor or something, because there's a holo block. So I think you should be able to actually use the resources to buy more customization, more decos for your base, because I think that would actually have more impact. You know, having a cooler base should actually be the goal, and not having a better character, because it's just not really useful having a better I can't really describe it, you know. It's you can buy every upgrade and still die because you weren't careful, but you should be able to use your resources to make your bases more your bases, because at the moment there's like white stone, redstone, glass and metal block, and not much more. All the others are from buying a skin pack and having Dead by Daylight, and that's it. Everything else you just have. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, and with that, bye bye.